After waking up in a baseball field in Hanover, New Hampshire, I got a really cool, unexpected treat. Got to go out to breakfast, which was warm and delicious. Plus we got out of the rain, so always a plus. And I even got dropped off back at the trail before starting hiking again for the day. A rainy, sleepy day, hard to get going, but luckily a fellow hiker's mom is in town visiting and she's slack packing some of us today. If you don't know, this is how my pack looks. Slack packing just means you're not carrying as much weight because someone's either driving your gear to you or you're going to be sleeping inside and you left it somewhere. That's really nice. Definitely makes it easier today. Although I'll tell you, I'm still really tired and I feel guilty for being tired. Like, come on, you're doing so much less work. But that's not the way it goes. I wish. Anyway, a conversation that we were having this morning at the cafe, his mom asked, between us female hikers, is there kind of any drama? And I was like, no, it's actually the opposite for me, because I don't know where I heard this statistic, but apparently AT hikers are usually 66% men and 33% women. And I have found that to be true so far. So whenever I see other female hikers that are in the same bubble as me, I feel like we're instant friends because we have that in common. Something else interesting, speaking of that ratio, is that if you're a woman that likes men, prefers to date men, then the odds are kind of in your favor, you know? You're kind of a hot commodity, I guess you could say. It's weird. One day I was thinking about all the women hikers I know well enough to know their relationship status. They were either dating someone that's off trail before they started hiking, they're hiking with a partner purposely, like, oh honey, let's go hike the AT together, or they met someone on trail. And I don't mean that to say, come on girls, come hike the AT and find you a man. It's just a coincidence I noticed. All the female hikers, all the women I know, okay, yes, including me. Who's that boyfriend? It's Smokemaster! Yep, that's right. When we first met, we were friends pretty quickly because we had similar senses of humor, really enjoyed talking to each other. And then around, before Virginia, I'd say, within the first couple weeks of knowing each other, one of us had feelings, the other was like, let's be friends. And then by the time the other person was like, actually, I do have feelings, the other person was like, no, you were right, we should be friends. Being on such a big experience that you know will be a big part of your life, it's like, I don't know if I want to date anyone. I just want this experience to be about, you know, having a good time with friends. If things end badly, that, you know, would be a real damper on the experience. And I shouldn't have chose to talk about this while I'm crossing water. It's hard to concentrate and talk, but hold on one second. And there's also the fact that I've been solo for most of my life. I was like, I don't know, I really like being an independent person. At first I wasn't gonna include this in my videos, but I'm like, if I'm telling people when I cry over embarrassing stuff, I probably shouldn't leave out this major of a part of my experience, you know? What conclusion I came to is that just because you can be independent doesn't mean you have to be. There's no like prize you get for, I don't know, not dating someone. So why not? Life is short. We don't know what tomorrow will hold. You gotta enjoy everything as much as possible. Also, if you're thinking, what does that even mean to be dating? You're not getting dressed up and going out on dates. I guess I just mean having a go-to person. Our tramily is a little more broken up these days, unfortunately. People wanting to go different speeds, or people just leaving, not camping with us and not saying why. Anyway, me and him are like, okay, how far are we going today? Do you want to walk together or split up and meet somewhere? And it's just having the experience with another person. And I don't know, so far it's been better because of it. It's been more fun. I have a person to talk things out with. It's good. On the day I filmed this, we happened to be hiking separately, and it felt weird not hearing from him right away, so our trusted reporter was sent in to get the inside scoop. That's right, folks. This is a news network that has you covered, mostly because other news networks don't care about my personal life. So, now we're here with Smoke Master, the man of the hour. Smoke, how does it feel to be dating Maddie, aka Ranger, from Beer and Beautiful Places?
It's similar to hiking the AT. It has its ups, it has its downs, but it's all in all a fun experience.
Wonderful. Now, what I'm sure some of the viewers at home are thinking is that they got used to seeing Ranger, Smoke, Pac-Man as a trio. Where is Pac-Man now? Did he get annoyed with being a third wheel? Did we drive him away?
That man is a D1 athlete from Yale, so he crushes miles every day. He's ahead just by a little bit, but I think he has a secret romance of himself.
Ooh! People also might be curious, what about the secret admirer that was writing notes in the log books and shelters to you?
At first, a lot of the poems were very sincere, something very small about my hair or my eyes. But as they progressed, they started to get a little bit more tomfoolery. So I think it was just a joke being played on me by one of my friends that I know, something like that. I don't think there was nothing serious behind it. And as of about 600 miles, they stopped responding. So whoever you are, definitely hope you have a great life, but I'm kind of taken now.
Aww. Last but not least, people might just be wondering, in general, from about the time from New York to maybe Vermont, you're seen carrying something in your hand. What was that?
So, I am doing this with no phone. I really missed music. I carried a small little weather shower radio. It eventually broke and got weathered away. And I traded it for the kettle, which the belt had just broken, so I now carry that by hand.
What is a kettle, sir?
A kettle is this right here, ma'am.
Why are you carrying a cooking thing? Why not just carry a stove and a backpacking pot?
A guy from way back when at Blood Mountain had told me that I wasn't going to make it to Katahdin carrying that kettle. So I changed the name of it to the kettle.
Because he was determined to carry it to Katahdin, just because that person said he couldn't. What determination on this fella, y'all. Well, there you have it, folks. Now back to your regularly scheduled hiking. If anyone knows what this means, please let me know. I'm by the connection to the Harris Trail, apparently. What does it mean? Who is Matt Dustin? So many mysteries.
amazing view. You notice that too, those rock edges? Look. Whoa! Across the edge. That's why we're here, for that dude's help.
It should connect.
They even got a shovel, a rake, some leaves to rake. Yes. So we can just kind of.
So we just choose who wants chicken and wants beef?
Do the candle lighter.
Do I need to be on?
Happy birthday, dear Islander. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you guys. Big 2-5. Mid-20s.
Oh my goodness, I feel so lucky. Got picked up by Dozer's mom last night, got to stay at an Airbnb, have dinner together, celebrate Islander's birthday, sleep in a bed, showered, did laundry, and now this morning we're back slack packing for the second day in a row. Gonna spend the night inside again, and I just feel so lucky. The weather is cool, but not rainy. My clothes smell good. These flowers smell good. What a morning. Well, you all, I've had a long hiking career. I've accomplished a lot, but now there's even a trail named after me. My trail name anyway. Ranger Trail. Such a beautiful spot up there. Walking up, it's like every step up you get away from the trees, it gets better and better. That was so cool. I did see what I believe to be Mount Cube, which is the mountain we're doing next, and Mount Moosilauke was after that, which is the first mountain in the Whites, which will be pretty hard, but you know, nothing we can't handle. Please tell me we're not going up there. We were indeed going up there. That's the mountain we climbed earlier today. Man, it was a hard climb. I kept thinking I was at the top and I wasn't, but the scenery, mwah. It's about 7 and I'm almost done. And I started at 9 this morning, so maybe it was more like 9:30. But anyway, it just goes to show that even though you're slack packing, sometimes it can still take a really long time to hike, you know? It's not like it's not a physical challenge still.
Shelter was pretty cool. I climbed up to the fire tower and already done so.
Who is this?
Vanilla.
At this point, we're just in the waiting game, so.
You just had a wild bear out there.
I used just a big cut potatoes to help give it that thick consistency and just have a little bit more, just like a nice mashed flavor to it, and a more rustic feeling with the chicken. It got cooked.
Oh, and there's some ice creams in the freezer.
What? I sold them out. There's like 3 left. I bought them all.
What a week it's been. Some things, like the fact that the Blue Barn was just the right amount of distance from Hanover so that most people get to experience them both within the same day. That's just kind of the spacing of the trail. But some of it, like getting to stay in the tree house, was just unbelievably lucky. So many good times this week. Let's talk more about it. First, the season and the landscape are very much changing. It was very obvious. As far as the season, you're starting to see the colors changing in the trees, which I talked about before. And at first I was really surprised by that, but I guess the trees change because there's going to be less light, so they can't photosynthesize, and that has to do with sunlight being less, and it is past the summer solstice, so it makes sense. But I was surprised at first. At the same time though, there are still plenty of mosquitoes. Still sweaty when I walk, but I also noticed that I roll my sleeves down most of the time when I'm not hiking, maybe put on my puffy. It is getting a little cooler, definitely. As far as the landscape changing though, the type of landscape where it's evergreen trees, moss, and ferns is getting more and more. And I think it was this week when I noticed that is usually happening when you're higher in elevation. It's definitely getting even more scenic, beautiful views, and I'm just loving it. It's definitely hard though. There's more climbs, there's more steepness. The mud is still, keeping your feet constantly wet, but it's good. It's beautiful. What's going on with the other hikers on trail? Well, it's about that time where we know we're towards the finish line. I think it's definitely in sight for all of us, but it's not like the main thing we're thinking about. There's also the whites coming up soon, which apparently it's going to be very cold and very hard. So I'm nervous about that. Looking forward to it at the same time. I think it'll be a cool challenge. A lot of us kind of slowed down this week too, because it was definitely a low mileage week for me. But I noticed that the friends I have on trail aren't, well, most of them anyway, aren't super far ahead. Everyone's kind of around the same space, so that means they're slowing down too, I guess. Maybe it's because we know hard times are coming. Maybe it's just we're exhausted because we've been on this trail for almost 5 months now. We're tired. My favorite part of the week, which is hard to say because there was so many good times, but I will especially remember the night at Whispering Pines, which was aka the Treehouse Hostel. Smoke and I were watching a movie, eating pizza, drinking beer. It was a movie on a big projector, so that was like so cool to see. It was just so comfortable, to have a beanbag chair and a blanket and a pillow. So cozy, so comfy, and it was just such a treat to be like, we thought we would be camping tonight, but here we are in our beanbag chairs. Last week I made the goal to try to have one moment of joy every day, whether that was a sunset or a good meal or a good conversation. A lot of times I forgot about that goal, honestly, but there was so much like treats and fun moments that definitely happened, and I think I'm gonna keep doing that next week. That's gonna be my goal again too, because I know like this slack packing in hotels, it's not a common occurrence. And when I go back to having a more normal week where I'm camping every night, hiking bigger miles, then I need to keep looking for that too. And what I learned this week, because it was such a lucky week, there was so much fun, so many good moments, but I also noticed myself getting kind of emotional sometimes worrying about things that weren't really that big of problems. Even though circumstances can be really good, my mind wasn't really good. I got upset over small things, and that led me to realize even if I do slow down, my mind is still tired. Having really big days every day for 5 months can still be really mentally draining, even when fun stuff is happening too. But when I look back at this week, I'm gonna be like, wow, there's so many good things all at once. Headed into next week, it's gonna be the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And like I said, I am a little nervous, but someone told me today it wasn't actually that bad. So we're just gonna have to see.